Hello, everybody. This is Gus from Askewed Reviews, and I'm doing something really different today. I'm doing a segment called Retro Madness. Now, here's what Retro Madness is. You see, one of my good friends from Cinema Society Saturday, Matthew, who also goes by Horror Madness, is challenging himself to watch 50 80s horror films by October 31st. Now, one of the things he's started to do with this is actually challenge some of us to give him some of those movies to watch. So I actually gave Matthew the movie Ghoulies to watch as part of his retro madness. And in turn, he gave me an 80s film to also review. And thus, this is why I'm doing an episode of Retro Madness. So the movie that Matthew gave me was the 1986 film April Fool's Day. This movie is definitely an 80s horror classic. So here's the story for this one. We have a bunch of college age kids that are going to go and party at one of their friends' family's houses. And that would be Muffy, this girl in the middle, which, if anyone nowadays still has the name Muffy, I'm so sorry. But anyway, so all of these kids are hanging out, partying, drugs, sex, alcohol, all the usuals in an 80s film. But the big thing is, this whole retreat is happening on April Fool's Day, or at least the weekend of April Fool's Day, or something like that. I don't know. They keep doing it for the entire time that they're there, but everyone is pranking everybody. And then, of course, it gets to a point, though, where things start to turn deadly, and it's no longer pranking. This is one I definitely recommend checking out if you haven't done so already. For a horror movie, it does some very interesting and different things by the end of the film. Now, one thing I was not a fan of, though, and a lot of 80s movies do this, is all of the kids are like members of high society families. So it's kind of hard to root for any of them because it's just like, nope, just get rid of all of them. It's better that way. Also, if you're a big fan of horror movies, you'll definitely notice some familiar faces, as some of the actors and actresses also appear in some of the movies, like one of the Friday the 13th, Leprechaun, and Waxwork. And then, of course, there's also, in my opinion, the most familiar face of Tom Wilson, who played Biff in the Back to the Future series. And he still kind of plays a little bit like that in this film, but almost a better guy, not as much of a jerk, but he's still a jerk. So I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 5. And if you want to check it out, it's currently streaming for free on Pluto TV. So I hope you enjoyed this Retro Madness review. Maybe I'll do some more. I'll check back in with Matthew. But in the meantime, absolutely, if you're not already doing so, go and follow him. Watch as he goes through all of these 80s horror films.